How's it going, guys? We're back in the world of the first Descendant, and we got quite a bit to talk about today. First off, there are way too many Trancendent mods that are just underwhelming and just straight up don't work. This is a talking point I've been going over in the last couple of days that we're going to be talking about a little bit more here. Ultimate Valby is right around the corner. Despite having some Descendants that need a lot of love, players are starting to get fed up interacting with each other and concerned about more future content. And finally, we have some interesting ideas for some upcoming boss fights. We got a lot to talk about in this one, guys, so let's begin. Alright, check out this post from Papa da Casa. Too many Trancendent mods have unlisted or unclear effects. Now that I've started to get more of these things and gotten to play with some of the ones I wanted, it's become clear that some of them aren't clear enough. While I do think that they should clearly state what the ability is modifying / replacing, see Valby's water play for example, that's less problematic than the ones that actually have downsides to using them. I was so excited to use the explosive stacks mod for Ultimate Lepic, but my reaction to finally using it once I actually got home went something like this. Firing rounds recharge my grenades faster and I get 3 charges. Sign me up. Why do my grenades do so little damage? I know that he is level 1 but shouldn't make that much of a difference. Oh, this mod almost half my grenade damage. I can't possibly see how getting 3 grenades that still cost 20 MP to throw and does half the damage is better than 1 for 35 MP in a short cooldown. Now he does go on about other different things and I kind of want to touch on this one specifically because I'm actually testing this build out right now and I don't even think that he really even went in depth with the problem with this one. So as he said, you can actually get to stack up 3 grenades and you can throw the grenades eventually at the boss. Now you lose half the damage and they have a condition, a shoot condition. So if you're not a very fast firing weapon or even a weapon with a lot of mag, so you can't really do it effectively. Now initially what I thought was it was going to let you throw 3 grenades at once, which would make sense to justify the mod slot because, you know, that ability in itself is not even great. And as he expressed in this post, you can actually just lower the cooldown to about 1.5 seconds without the shoot condition, which actually ends up being like 7 to 8 seconds to actually get the mod to work, meaning you will actually get more grenades out by just having a cooldown. Now add on top of the fact that you actually lose half your damage and you have a shoot condition and it takes longer and you save a little bit of mana, it actually doesn't even make any sense. One other thing he actually didn't even touch on, if you choose to not even use the grenade mod, you can use another terrible ability I would like to point out that does not work really well, which is called regenerative braking. It has a condition where you have a chance to actually get mana, and then if your passive is not on cooldown, because when it procs it actually puts it on cooldown, you can't get mana in that time either. So it's a double condition mod, which is obviously not looked at really well, was not play tested in any way, shape, or form. But even more so, you could in theory put that in with a normal grenade build and get significantly better than a actual grenade build Trancendent mod. And this is one of the videos I went over recently called The First Descendant Has a Massive Problem. You should definitely check it out. I'll have that link down in the description. I went into length talking about some of the biggest problems in the first Descendant. A lot of players are not noticing because I play 17 hours a day and most of you probably have like normal jobs where you actually can't play all day. Like there are some massive balance issues. This was one of them where Trancendent mods don't work or they just straight up don't make any sense. They are not play tested in any way, shape, or form. There's a lot of players just playing Bunny or the Lepic Burst build or just playing the Glade build, but no one's really experimenting outside of like the content creators who have a lot of time, so maybe a lot of you don't see it. Now, while I did say in that video, majority of the video was me to buff everything, I did mention that Bunny needs a nerf because she is much stronger than everything else. For some reason, there was a lot of like Bunny player comments that were like, you're gonna nerf the whole entire game, even though I only said to bring her down and bring everything else, like multiple subjects to bring everything else up. But the point I'm trying to get at, guys, is there are a lot of broken Trancendent mods in this game. There's a lot of them that don't function well. Some of them don't make sense. What I thought would work with this was build a mod that makes it so whenever they're not attacking you, you can throw the grenades and kind of get a like burst out of it, but it reduces half your damage. It's a bunch of nonsense when it comes to these Trancendent mods that they really need to look at, and it's a little disappointing. I want to talk about another subject, so let's move on to the next thing because it kind of ties into this. And next we have this post from the official First Descendant Twitter. Which version of Ultimate Valby do you prefer, the Charismatic Red or the Crystal Clear Blue? Meet them both on 7/31. As you can see, there's some really cool Ultimate Valby skins. For me, Valby is nowhere near a top priority in terms of Descendant in my opinion, so I'm not really that interested in getting Valby. I'm more interested in Luna because she may actually bring some value that you don't really see from other Descendants. But the reason why I actually wanted to talk about this was not because of Valby herself, but because of the fact that there are 2 Descendants being released when you have Descendants like Jayber who still don't function properly. I know a lot of players don't actually play Jayber right now. I don't have him unlocked yet because I don't have space to like craft him. I have his parts, but I can't craft him yet. There's some problems with him where his turns aren't effectively scaling and basically broken. If you're wondering why your damage is really bad on Jayber if you are a Jayber player, is because of that. It still hasn't been fixed, and though I have seen some tweets of people like sending it to them, they haven't really acknowledged anything about it yet. So it's a little disappointing that the team is more focused on getting Valby out and Luna out than fixing the current Descendants that are broken. I've seen a lot of comments where players kind of say, well, Fervor, you shouldn't be talking about Nexon, you're official Nexon creator, and essentially basically saying I should shill for the game, which I will never shill for any game. I don't give a damn how much you pay me, unless it's like Kit Kat and they give me those free pudding cups, then maybe I'll shill for them. But anything else, I'm not really going to shill for, because honestly, I want the game to be really, really good, and the best way to do it is pointing out the problems, especially when I have a platform to do it. It's ridiculous that Jayber is not properly functioning. He's a really great character that can be useful in the future, and yet we're getting Ultimate Valby and we're getting Luna, who may or may not even be broken for all we know. The first Descendant dev team really need to put a lot of effort into fixing the game, then forcing out these new Descendants that, in my opinion, won't change anything in the game in any way, shape, or form. Valby's probably going to be a cool Descendant, but I don't really see her making a big impact in the game. And Luna, once again, with her support nature that I'm sure she's going to be, supports are not really valued because of, well, many issues in the game with core design issues that I went over in that video. I think the focus should be on making sure that Descendants work before putting out more Descendants. Moving on, let's talk about this post from Mysterious Zombie 86. Y'all really want more mechanics added. The damn random potatoes you get matched with currently are only capable of telling you which windows taste the best. Stand in a capture point? Nah, they go chase some random butterfly down the tunnel. Dead bride go immune? Might as well stand right under her because there's no way she's gonna drop a snow globe of death. And forget about shooting the gun, that's the only part that's able to be damaged. They just gonna go dry hump her foot like they do the poor Fluffy at home. Now obviously this person is fed up with the teammate. Now in my experience as someone who has completed every boss by I believe day 4 of the launch of the game, I will firmly say that there is no tough boss in this game. There is no boss in this game that is functionally strong right now. The only time these bosses are strong is whenever you don't have your gear properly. So if you're struggling with any of the bosses and you're watching this video, that's purely because your gear is not appropriate. With that said, there are 4 bosses in the game that has a skill check. That's Hangman, Obstructor, Molten Fortress, and Frostwalker. The skill check is the competency of the people you play around. What's actually tough in this game is not the boss themselves, but playing with other players. That's what's tough. So for me, when I see a post like this where he says, well, yeah, I want more mechanics added, yes, I want the game to be much tougher because right now everything's a joke, everything can be bursted, everything can be killed, and if you're somewhat competent, you can complete the content. With that said, there needs to be some systems that really help players group more appropriately with competent players. I'm not a game dev and I don't know how hard it is to implement something like this. I imagine it's much easier than other systems, but they need to add a guild system into the game so players can play together. There's no reason why a game that forces you to play with a bunch of people does not have a way to group you properly with people. Finally, moving on to the final subject, check out this post from Jack of All Trades. Same vibe, and as you can see, this is just a very poor image of one of the little spinny guys that pushes you, as well as the board from Monster Hunter. I'm a big Monster Hunter fan, been a big fan since World. I know, don't blame me, I'm not an OG of Monster Hunter, but I love it. But yeah, these things pushes you around. They're super annoying. I will say, I know a lot of players hate these, but I think they're actually really well designed. They accomplish what they really are set to do. They are there to annoy you, shoot at you, chip you down, give the boss opportunity to kill you. I think they're actually one of the better designed mobs in the entire game. And what would be really awesome is if they made a giant boss version of this that summon a lot of these or shoot them at you. That'd be really cool. It'll be the most annoying experience in the entire game, but it would be pretty cool to see like a boss of this. That'd be really dope. Anyway guys, that's gonna be it for this one. I don't want to go on a rant when we talk about the balance of the game, but let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I really want to see what you guys think. I'm really looking forward to Ultimate Valby, and I think she's gonna be cool, and I think Luna's gonna be cool, but man, we need to get on top of a lot of these issues before we start releasing more Descendants. I'll keep you guys up to date if we see any changes, but yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.